Let's move on to West Africa now. Nigeria is Africa's most populous country and is often used to illustrate the Africa Rising narrative, which urges investors to look beyond the continent's current troubles at the huge potential of its swelling youth population. But skeptics are fearful that Nigeria's bloated cities, its poor infrastructure, education and job market have little chance of keeping up with a population that's growing at 2.4% every single year. Now, how Nigeria manages to cope with its rising population could determine whether it really will be an African superpower or if it will just slip deeper and deeper into poverty and civil strife.
In the next 5 minutes, Nigeria will have added 35 people to its population, about 11,000 a day, while some see these new consumers feeding into the engine of prosperity. Others fear they will create a crisis of poverty and unrest. By 2050, the Global Population Reference Bureau projects that it will be the world's fourth most populous country, with 400 million people, just less than that projected in the United States, but with only a tenth of its territory. The $8 a week that 55-year-old Elizabeth Mifikopo earns from roasting and selling fish helps feed her 7 offspring and 12 grandchildren.
I
have been involved in this fish business for 25 years. This is what sustains my children and my grandchildren. This is the only trade I know. My husband had 2 wives. When he died, we carried on with the fish business, but 3 years the second wife died, and I was left to take care of the kids and everything, even their schooling. It is this fish business that pays for their education.
2/3 of Lagos residents live in what are effectively slums with no reliable electricity or water. Most crowd into face-me, face-you accommodation, squeezing whole families in 7-square-meter rooms, sandwiched together along thin corridors. Year 5 student Brandy Mifikopo is one of the only 2 children in a family in school.
We were 9 children in my family, but 2 died. From the remaining 7, there are only 2 of us going to school at the moment. I am the last child of my family. Since my father died, there has been no help from anywhere apart from my mother's business. I'm schooling, and I'm fortunate to be among the children going to school in this kind of community and this environment where there is no father and my widowed mother training us and carrying the burden.
It looks like running to stand still, because in many ways the state now becomes a victim of its own success, because the more we do, the more attractive this place becomes to migrants from other parts of the country and indeed parts of the West African region.
Nigeria is often used by promoters of an African rising narrative, urging investors to buy into the continent's potential to reap a demographic dividend from an expanding population of young people in working age. Yet in the waterside slum of Makoko, where 100,000 residents huddle together in homes on stilts that spill into the Lagos Lagoon, very few feel that they are on the verge of prosperity. Noel Makugu, CCTV.